Hello boys and girls, welcome back to the Steak and Brush. Today for you I have a foundation review and tryout of the new Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. Before we get into it, as always, if I could ask you to like this video and subscribe to my channel and share it with any of your makeup loving friends. My channel is slowly growing, but the more likes and the more subscriptions it has, the better chance I have of getting out there to new people, and I'd really appreciate that as well. So thank you for joining me today. One thing you may or may not have noticed, I'm actually trying a different camera setup. I've always been using my front-facing camera because I needed to have that screen so that I could see what's being recorded and what's in the picture. But I found a way to broadcast that to my laptop, which is now in front of me right down here where you can't see it. I'm hoping that that makes the screen quality better for you and you can see things better. I'm not sure how it's working out though. It was quite difficult to actually set up for the first time today. So if you can just comment below and let me know, is the quality better for you? Do you like it? Hopefully it'll work. You may notice me looking in the wrong place because now the lens is over here as opposed to over there where it was for every other video I've done. So that'll take me a little while to get used to. And also, let me know about the background. This is just the background of my bedroom, as messy and cluttered as it is. Would you rather see just like a plain backdrop, or do you like seeing the mess that my life is behind me? So let's get into this. I purchased this off of Beautylish. I actually got a whole box full of stuff. If you've not heard of Beautylish, it's a terrific site. The only downside is they don't have tons of companies that they sell. They have a lot of the higher end ones, but not all of them. But it's an online site. It's just beautylish.com. You can go there and you can get a lot of your products. And what appealed to me, being as poor as I am, if you spend over $50, they let you break up your payments. And there's no interest. So, you know, it's not like putting on a credit card. And depending on how much you spend is how many payments you break it up into. So, like, I spent $100. I broke it up into 3 payments. And that's great for me. It's, you know, one every month. And that helps me get some of the bigger purchases that I wouldn't normally be able to get. And it arrived fast. It was in beautiful packaging. Everything was wrapped up very well, very protected, and it came with a little personalized card saying, "Oh, I hope you like, you know, these brands that you bought," and it named out the brands. It had my name on it. It was a very nice touch. So I definitely will be buying from them again. All right, so let's get into the actual product here. Let me see. This is a full coverage foundation with a flawless, matte, long-lasting finish. Apply your Airbrush Flawless Foundation, blending outwards from the center of your face for a flawless airbrushed finish. And let me see if I can get any more information. It doesn't say a lot more on the box. I got this in number 5, neutral. I'm hoping it's the right shade. I'm not sure. Also about Beautylish, if it's not right, they do have a generous return policy. You can return it for free, and they will even pay for the return shipping. They will not refund you for the shipping you paid to get it, but since I spent over $35 anyway, I had free shipping, so that's not a problem. All right, so she got this frosted glass bottle, the gold Charlotte Tilbury signature top here. It is a pump. It is 1 fluid ounces. see what we've got when it finally comes out. Come on. You can do it. I believe in you. Maybe. Come on, I'm starting to lose my faith. Ah, there we go. There's one pump. Sorry, I have a lips. Okay, wrong way. I'm not used to this. I have a lip swatch right next to it, so. All right, let's start with 2 pumps and see how that gets us. I'm going to do one side with a beauty blender and one side with a brush. Again, I apologize. I'm still trying to figure out where is the best place to look when I do this. Okay, I'm going to do my beauty blender side first since I'm not used to doing it as much with a beauty blender, and that way I won't forget. Color match, it's not bad. Definitely has a little bit of a fragrance to it. Not overwhelming. Just trying to see if I could figure out what it is that I'm smelling. Oh, I did prime with my No Poreblem primer, Prime Essence from Touch and Soul. Okay, that's one coat there. I can still see my sunspots coming through. I can tell you it feels very, very light. It doesn't feel makeup-y at all, if that makes sense. I don't think I got much up there at all. Yeah, it's definitely not covering that sunspot up in one pass. Match is pretty good. Let me turn light down there. Helps you with the color match at all. Before I do another pass through, let me look at this in a mirror up close. It is very, very light. I would definitely not call this full coverage right from the get-go. It is sitting beautifully. It's not in my forehead lines. No texture whatsoever is being emphasized. And absolutely no polka dot pores. I am going to build this up, or attempt to build this up around those sunspots. Although I still don't know if I prefer one side to the other. I can just barely see that sunspot peeking through. not see this one. It is definitely a matte, but it's not a dry looking matte. A lot of times when you have dry skin, and mine is on the dryish side, especially around my cheeks, my T-zone is more of a normal now, but it's not a drying formulation. I'm just so surprised lately. Everything I've been wearing, I'm still seeing texture through here, and there's nothing. It looks beautiful. It's a little tacky. I know I usually try to not set it one day. I'm probably going to have to set this. We'll have to see while I'm doing my other makeup, but I really, really like this so far. I mean, I guess I should have mentioned this is $44, which is not bad for a high-end foundation. I mean, the new Pat McGrath is, what, $68 or something like that? I mean, when you go into Sephora, I expect to pay between $30 and $40 for foundation, and this is 1 full fluid ounce. So far, cross my fingers, so far, so good. I'm going to finish up the rest of my makeup, and then I will come back and let you know how it's performing. Okay, guys. I am back, and I'm flabbergasted. I mean, this is quite possibly the best looking my skin has ever looked. Granted, this is just, 15 minutes into the wear, but everything blended out beautifully. I have absolutely no texture. Before I go any further with that, I did not go over the whole kind of PR campaign for this, but here's what it actually says on the website about this. Flawless is a feeling. Discover the secret to flawless, poreless looking, confident complexion. Charlotte's groundbreaking Airbrush Flawless Foundation is where makeup meets magic. Makeup magic meets skincare science. A stay all day, weightless, full coverage formula with a natural matte finish. Available in 44 flawlessly matte shades from Magic Replexium to visibly reduce the appearance of wrinkles by up to 22% over 8 weeks. I don't know about that. I don't know that I necessarily believe any of that, but to Moss Cell Tech #1 that boosts hydration levels by 216% in just 1 hour. This is a hybrid magic skincare foundation for every occasion, tested on 30 men and women. That's a super small sample size, but regardless, it feels amazing. It is so lightweight. It really, really is. I don't feel like I've got anything on at all. My pores look terrific. The texture is almost non-existent. Even when I use the Ofra highlighter, the Nikki Tutorials in Glazed Donut that I just picked up at the wrong way again, at the Ulta 21 day sale, and powder highlighters are going to pick up texture. That's just what it's going to do. But there's a little bit around here, but almost none on this side. It blended very, very well. I also picked up the Benefit Boi-ing Cakeless Concealer. It blended perfectly, even though I think I went a little overboard with it, but I had no problems there. I don't know what else to say. I mean, this is day one. I've got a cool my jets a little bit, because it's day one and it says it's stay all day, stay all night. So we'll see how it is at the end of the night. But just very, very first impression, I have never had a foundation make my skin look like this since I've been this age, you know, this age group. I'm going to try it tomorrow again with a different primer to see how, you know, does it work well with silicone primers. I'm going to try it with a water base primer, see how it works that way. I don't know. Okay. Let me see. Again, with this new camera setup, I don't know what you can and can't see. But can you see? I can still see this sunspot peeking through just a bit. But I cannot really see. I mean, if I look really, really hard, I can see this one. Tomorrow I might try to build it up a little bit more. It's sitting on my nose perfectly. Get over here. Again, I'm still not used to this. I am so sorry that this is the video that you get to have to suffer through all of my learnings here. In between my eyebrows, it looks good. It's not settling into any of that. I'm gonna try it out in daylight and see if I can show you what it looks there too, because it's great. I'm so excited, and I hope this isn't just me being excited because it's new, but I'll check in with you later and let's see how this holds up. Okay guys, this is me outside in actual daylight, and I'm not burning up like the vampire that I am, but I had to go outside just so you could see what it looks like in natural light. Not that I can actually see anything because it is so bright out here, but I'm hoping you can see just how good this looks. I am just completely floored by this. But I wanted you to see it outside of my camera lights and stuff. Alright, I'm still going to check in with you at the end of the day. See you later. Hi boys and girls, I am back, and it's about 9 hours that I've been wearing the Charlotte Tilbury foundation, and I have very, very good things to say about it. I'm very, very pleased. Let's start just overall. The feel, it still feels very lightweight. It is very, very hydrating. I can almost say it's almost too hydrating, but I won't. It's been a very warm evening. It was starting to cool down for a while last week, but now the temperature's way back up, and it's a little damp through here. So if this were something that I were going to wear, if I were going to go out again today, I could easily touch up. I would probably just put some powder on it to keep on going. But for the wear test, I didn't want to do that. But it's wearing, like it said, flawlessly. Let's see here. Again, still getting used to the new camera angles here. If you can see, let me turn down the ring light. Okay, it is not setting into any lines there. I have the slightest amount of texture just starting in my cheeks, my higher cheeks. My actual lower cheek here, it's great. I mean, there's just no problem with it. It looks just the same as I did when I put it on. Sweat's broken it down a little bit here, but again, I really think that's just the heat, because nowhere else is it broken down at all. No polka dot pores, everything still looks good there. I took a nap. I was sleeping like this most of the time. I'm not having any transfer. I didn't try my phone just to see. I'll try to remember to do that tomorrow. But I mean, that felt good, so no issues with transfer. I mean, 9 hours, and I would feel comfortable just putting on a little bit of powder and going back out with it. So at least with this combination of things, it is definitely long wear. I really don't have much to say bad about it. You can still see this sunspot's just starting to poke out. I couldn't see it earlier in the day, and this one, it's about where it was earlier in the day, but I would say they are more than 50% covered. You would definitely have to be looking for them to see them, and you know, I can't ask for much more. I don't know, have I found a holy grail? Have I found a holy grail? I certainly hope so, but it's just one day. I gotta wear it at least 2 more days before I give a certain review of it. But day 1 in the bag, and I am very hopeful. I'm very pleased. The only thing I could have asked for, well, besides this foundation opening up and giving me $1 million, is that 100% covered these up. But you know, so far I haven't found anything else that's done it, and this has come the closest with everything else that I'm looking for. It really does tick all of those little boxes. So I will check in tomorrow, let you know how I'm using it, what prep I'm using, how I'm setting it, and we'll go from there. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hey everybody, it's day 2 with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. I prepped and primed today with my e.l.f. Poreless Primer, and I set it with the Maybelline Fit Me powder. I don't see much difference between the two, between the loose powder and this powder. It still looks really, really flawless. I mean, I don't see the difference. Pores look great, skin looks great, texture looks great. It's not going into my wrinkles. My sunspots today, this one's a little more noticeable than this one. They're still not 100% covered, but I think they're done pretty well. I did do the entire face with the sponge. Tomorrow maybe I'll try, if I remember, to do it with the brush. Now I'm gonna try and zoom you in here. Again, with this new camera setup, it's a little difficult, but bear with me. Okay. Alright, you see it's not settling in anywhere there. Oh, they look horrible when you see them so big. There's just no texture there. My nose looks really, really good. Wrong way. My chin. Sorry, I know that is uncomfortably close, but I wanted you to just really see how beautiful this is. And I know my lights wash it out a little bit, but it is flawless. Now, I'll wear this again for probably another 9 or so hours, and we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping it holds up. If it doesn't hold up today, I would say it's probably because I used a silicone primer. Tomorrow I will use a water-based primer to see how that works, but I am so impressed by this. I cannot say more good things by it. I was just doing my makeup. I'm like, wow, it looks so good. I'm so excited that I found something that is this good. I'll check in later with you to let you know how it held up through the day. Hey guys, I apologize for the crappy quality of this video. I'm having some back and neck issues. I can feel that it's going to be one of those nights that I'm not going to be able to get out of bed much. So I needed to get this check-in done before that happened. I don't really have time or the energy to set up my whole light rig and all of that stuff. So I just wanted to check in with you real quick. Oh, I know this is really crappy quality. But how is it faring today? Not quite as good as it did yesterday. I definitely have some more texture you can see through here. It's still wearing very well. It hasn't, we're about 6 hours in, if I didn't say that. It's not breaking down. It's still good in my lines, no pores. It's still pretty covering, my sunspots pretty well. It's just the texture. I mean, it's not bad at all. This is what I would call good for a normal foundation. I just don't have that flawless airbrushed feeling that I did yesterday, and at this moment I'm gonna chalk it up to the silicone primer. We'll see tomorrow how it does with a water-based primer, because really there honestly isn't a reason to wear a silicone primer under this, because it does all of the things you want a silicone primer to do. It helps with, your lines and your pores, and that's why you would wear that kind. So we'll see tomorrow if the hydrating, I could probably use that Tarte Double Duty Beauty Shape Tape blah 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 10 name thing, that whatever it's called, but I'll probably use that and see how it works. I mean, it still looks great, it's just not as great as it was yesterday. So hopefully I'll be feeling well enough to check in tomorrow. See you then. Welcome back to day 3 of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless, still getting used to the camera, Airbrush Flawless foundation review. Today I have used it with the Tarte Base Tape primer. I'm gonna apologize right now, I am still not feeling good. Yeah, and I'm burning up, so but I really wanted to get this review done so I can get it edited and up for tomorrow. It's a new foundation, I want to get it out as soon as possible. And my eyes, I just kind of gave up. I wanted to do something kind of cool, but I wasn't feeling it, so sorry about all that. But into the actual product. Still looks great today. I'm loving the finish. I used my Becca Hydrate Gel Mist whatever powder today, and again, I think that works better than the pressed powder that I was using, the Maybelline Fit Me, to give it, I mean, it's both days it still had a fantastic finish. I think I just like the finish with the loose powder a little better, or at least that specific loose powder. I don't know how others would work. I really want to get the Charlotte Tilbury powder now to try with it, and that'll probably be my next Beautylish purchase. But yeah, it doesn't really, the finish looks just as good as it did for the other days, just a little, I think that the texture looks a little even better with the Becca powder. I don't really have too much more to say about it right now that I've just put it on. My big thing is I want to see, yesterday it didn't perform as well as the first day, still looked great, but not quite as great as the first day, and I'm hoping this primer makes it last a little longer with the great, fantastic finish. So I'll check up with you tonight and we'll go over everything and get my full rating. See you then. Okay, we're ready for the final breakdown of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. One of these days I'll get it right. So, end of night 3, still doing good. It's a little dewier than it was. Again, it's kind of hot today, or at least I've been hot with being sick. But it wore much better today than it did yesterday with the silicone primer. I think the way to go with this one, at least for me, is either a water-based or a serum-based primer and a loose powder setting. Now, I'm going to keep trying it with a couple different powders to set it with, and one of these days I'll get the Charlotte Tilbury one to try it with that as well. But for me, those two combinations, that's what wore best. So let's just break it down and everything. First thing we'll talk about is transfer. It's not transferring for me really at all. I even had it, I did the phone test thing, and it was just the barest, which is probably actually more my powder than anything else. Took a nap both yesterday and today. No problems with it transferring onto pillows or my hand or anything like that. So full star for transfer. As far as the claims it makes in the miscellaneous kind of category, I can't speak to the skincare claims, you know, because it's got all this Repluxium or whatever stuff it says. That is something you'd have to wear this long term, and you would have to wear only this long term for quite a while to even determine if it was this or not. So I can't really speak to those claims. But the long wearing, the flawless finish, you know, all of that stuff, absolutely, they're not kidding with that part. So I'm giving it a full star there. Long wearing, as we just talked about. Again, we're probably pushing 11 hours now through eating, through a nap, through me not feeling well, and this has held up. It's, it's not going away. Maybe a little bit on my chin, probably more from eating and wiping up after that than anything else. So yes, full star on that. How it sits on my skin. It looks beautiful. Today the texture by the end of the night is much less noticeable than it was the other night. Let me see. Don't know how much we can get tonight with this, but if you can see, my texture is pretty much as non-existent as it gets. Pick up on that. It's not in any of my lines, no polka dot pores. It looks like skin. So I'm absolutely pleased with that, and that is a full star. The final thing, and I have been debating on this all day long, and that is covering my sunspots. And here's why I'm debating. Because if I look at it like this, and I've got all my lights on, I can still see, oh yeah, I can see, if I turn my head and I look, I can still see these after, 11 hours. Now, I have to look a little bit, and, it does, I can still see them, and it does, it's reduced when I look at it like this, but they're still there. However, I was in the bathroom looking in the mirror, and I realized in non-bright ring light and vanity light settings, in natural light and in regular bathroom light where it's not shining, you can't see them. And are most people going to be looking at my face in this kind of lighting? No. So, I debated full star, half star, full star, half star. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do full star. And you know what that means? Boys and girls, that means we have our first 5-star foundation. insert claps and excitement and everything like that, and yay, all kinds of fireworks, I found a holy grail foundation. I'm still going to keep testing others, mostly because I like to, and I want you guys to see how other things work. But when it comes to a daily basis, and when I just, you know, unless I need something, like I'm looking for something definitely more matte or more this or more that, you know, this is going to be my go-to foundation. And I am so excited to say I found one. I mean, before e.l.f. was probably my, or not e.l.f., I'm sorry, before the Wet n Wild Photo Focus was my highest rated foundation, this blows it out of the water. And I mean, I don't know what that says about me, where a $6 foundation and a $44 foundation are my two favorites, but even in the grand scheme of things, $44 is not that expensive. It's average price for a, you know, higher end Sephora like foundation. I mean, we've got the new Pat McGrath that came out, and that was $68, and there's the La Mer's and all those things. So $44 is not bad at all. So yes, I found it. I'm so excited. I'm pumping this review out even when I'm sick so that I can share it with you as soon as possible. So please let me know if you've tried this, what you think. If you tried any of the other Charlotte Tilbury products, this is my first one. I am definitely getting more. Like I said, I got this on Beautylish. I want to try their concealer, and I want to try their setting powder. Let me know what else I should be trying, because if everything is as good as this, I'm hooked. All right, well, we've got that in the bag now, and I'm happy to say that I'm going to be wearing it. So thank you for joining me as always, and I hope you have a fantastic night.